Hello and welcome to the College of Charleston virtually. I'm glad to have you here for an overview of our transfer admission as well as some information about the College of Charleston on a higher level. My name is Will Chase. I work in the Office of Admission, and I'm joined by Kaylin Bachknight, who is our transfer counselor and will be your resource for any next steps for admissions. And she'll be going through some more detailed information towards the end of our presentation on what we look for our transfer students. To get us started off, I want to show a quick video that looks at a day in the life of a couple of College of Charleston students and really lays the groundwork for some of the themes and things we'll be talking about in the course of this presentation.
This is our College of Charleston, and this is our story. As a College of Charleston student, the whole city is my campus. Its coastal location, history, and amazing opportunities have inspired my educational journey.
From the moment I set foot on the campus, I knew this was a special place. I couldn't believe I would find so many modern facilities and cutting-edge programs at one of the oldest universities in the country. Is a liberal arts college, which allows me to pursue my passions in a unique and personal way. My theater classes taught me how to handle myself in front of large groups of people. Now I have the skills to be a strong business leader.
Charleston is a truly cosmopolitan city, and the college attracts students from everywhere. But what we all have in common is an insatiable appetite for learning and the belief that we can and will make a difference.
I have learned that there are strength in numbers and that being part of a team will help me change the world.
I truly believe that this campus has no boundaries. My college years have taught me how to be flexible, adaptable, and a creative problem solver. With these intangible skills, I can stake my claim in a rapidly changing world.
I'm proud of my college. Now I'm going to make it proud of me. I might discover a planet or start a business. Whatever happens in my future, my education will make it happen. And that's what it means to be a Cougar.
So hopefully that gave you a good overview of everything on a higher level. To give you some background and context as to how we got to where we are today as an institution, we were founded in the year 1770. That makes us the 13th oldest institution of higher education in the nation and the oldest south of Virginia. So there is a lot of history here. You'll see that as you go around on our virtual tour and see many historic buildings, but it's also blended with the more modern cutting edge spaces as well. And I think that really speaks to our innovative, forward-thinking mindset here at the college. If you can do the math, we're reached a very exciting milestone at the College of Charleston with our 250th birthday celebration just a few months ago. And so a very unique time to be part of the college and really looking forward to the next 250 years about how we can appreciate and look back on our tradition, but also transform ourselves into continuing to be one of the best universities in the country. Now, whenever we ask students like yourselves what you want in a college experience, we always hear the word balance. And not only do you want to achieve academically, but you also want to enjoy your time. You want to have fun. And so today we're going to talk about both of those areas. I'll focus a little bit more on the academic side. We'll talk a little bit about the enjoyment side. I encourage you, though, to peruse all the information on our virtual visitor center and look at all the student life videos and information there as well. But first, looking at a traditional classroom setting at the college, we are classified as a teaching institution. And I think that really speaks to our educational philosophy and how we approach the student to faculty relationship. So regardless of what your experience in college has been before, know that the College of Charleston really places a direct influence on our students, and our professors their number one goal is student success. So above all else, they want to ensure that you as a student have all the resources you need to be successful, both inside of the classroom and outside of the classroom. Being a teaching institution also means that none of our courses are led by graduate assistants or teaching assistants. All of our classes are professor-led. So as you look at your return on investment when it comes to a college experience, that's something you want to consider, is how much face time, how much interaction am I going to get with my professor? You want to maximize that as much as you can. And we do that by keeping class sizes quite small. So even though we are a mid-sized public institution, we have an average class size of around 23 and a student to faculty ratio of 14.5 to 1. So you really get to know your professors quite well. They get to know you, and that can really lead to some great benefits both inside and outside of the classroom. Speaking of academics, we've got over 140 different majors and minors to choose from. So a wide variety of options to study what you love, what you're passionate about, whether you've already started on a path towards a degree or you're just getting started and looking to see what's out there. The college has a variety of programs from the arts to humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, going into business and technology. So many different options, and really a great way to customize your experience as well. You don't have to just focus on one program or one path. You can really combine some unique academic experiences and combine different programs to either double major or add a minor to a major, add a concentration. So a lot of flexibility there. And not only are we ensuring that our current programs are up to date and relevant and very career driven, we're also looking ahead in the next 5, 10, 15, 30 years down the road to see what's needed, not just for today's workforce, but for tomorrow's as well. A great example of this is a program we're starting in the fall of 2020 that's being launched called Systems Engineering. It's the first program of its kind here in South Carolina at an undergraduate level, and we really see this as an area of growth, not just for the country, but for our area too. In the Charleston area, you see companies like Volvo and Bosch and Boeing really rapidly expanding, and we want to make sure that there's a direct pipeline of talent to those companies from the local area. And so College of Charleston is a perfect opportunity to make sure that we're fitting that need, really making sure that our students are learning exactly what's needed in the classroom that they can apply directly to their profession and the workforce. So one example of many about how we're always transforming and looking ahead, staying on the cutting edge. Whenever we talk about college, I think you always want to consider where the institution is located as much as the institution itself. And Charleston is such a remarkable city. It is a fast-growing, young, and innovative city in the South. A lot of people know us as a top tourist destination. We're always in that top 1 or 2 places to travel in the country, sometimes even the world. And that's definitely not a bad thing, but it is a great place to start a career, grow some roots, and also make those connections early on while you're in your college career to develop your resume and take advantage of the surrounding area. We want to make sure that our students are using Charleston as a living laboratory. I think one of the most important things that any student can do while they're in college is apply what they're learning in the classroom to the real world, making sure they're actually doing what they're learning. So if you're looking at business, we talked about some of those larger Fortune 500 companies that are here, a great tech startup community as well. We were nicknamed Silicon Harbor with the focus on the tech startup community. And so from nonprofits to small businesses, all the way up to the large companies. If you're interested in the health professions, you also have a lot of resources available to you. And given our location, we're just 5 blocks down the road from MUSC. That's the Medical University of South Carolina, the largest teaching hospital in the state. And we are, again, very close to them. And that allows our students to not just learn in the classroom, but also develop those extracurricular experiences. That could be clinical experience, that could be undergraduate research, volunteer hours. There are some very specific things that professional schools or medical schools are looking for. And so our pre-health advising program helps build those connections and make sure that you're the best candidate you can be, both academically, but also extracurricularly for that next step, which is typically education. Whether you're going to be a doctor, dentist, nurse, anything like that, they've got a lot of resources available to you. If you're interested in the arts or humanities, Charleston is such a culturally rich city, and it seems like there's a festival happening almost every single weekend, including Spoleto Festival USA, which is pictured here, one of the largest arts festivals in the country. And so our art students, whether you're a theater major, a music major, studio art major, you get the chance to see on an international stage from some of the best talent from around the world what your industry looks like. So again, developing this connection to the real world, developing those professional experiences early on is key, especially as you graduate and look for your first or second or third or whatever, wherever you may be, first full-time job. So to underscore the importance of this a little bit more, I want to show you a video that shows a few of our students and their internship experiences. I'll talk about those and ultimately how that led to a great liaison into their careers.
I believe that an internship or industry experience is vital and important to get before you graduate, because it just makes you more competitive to get job offers. Because nowadays, if you don't have an internship, you just have classes under your belt. They don't know if you have enough experience to take on whatever jobs and duties they may have for that position you're considering.
If you're an art history major looking for internships or looking to further your career, I highly recommend applying to as many internships as you can, even if they're unpaid, because the experience is the most important part. Just putting yourself out there and not being afraid to just go for it, because that's definitely what I've learned.
So I got my internship with Senator Tim Scott. I do plan to teach history, specifically American history or American government. I didn't need the academic credit, so I was really more focused on my future students.
I decided to get an internship with Boeing specifically because I wanted to be able to have some professional experience. The internship has definitely helped me figure out how to explore information that I haven't been taught before, and it's also helped me figure out what information I will need to teach myself in order to be successful as a computer scientist.
So Emily is a great example there of what can happen after an internship. She got a full-time job offer from Boeing just after graduation and is doing some great things there early on in her career. One of the things I always like to highlight is how our students really like to think outside of the box when it comes to an academic experience, and do some things that aren't your typical, lecture, test, paper, those types of things. And undergraduate research is a very popular field for our students that really want to dive deeper into their studies. We are an undergraduate focused institution, and so you see students doing a lot of things that you'd see on the graduate level when it comes to research. If you have a good photographic memory and you can think back to earlier in the presentation, there was a picture of a student flying a drone. Her name is Megan Landau. She's a recent graduate of our computer science program. She did a project on how to fly drones using voice recognition, and her paper was published that she wrote in a international publication. She got to travel to Austria to present her research. That led to some great opportunities in her senior year with some local technology companies. And shortly after graduation, she landed a job with Disney as a software engineer and programmer. And so those types of unique, atypical experiences that you wouldn't necessarily see at the undergraduate level are something that really sets our students apart from many others. And so we really encourage our students to dive further into research. You can do this whether you're doing your own independent research or jumping on one of our professors' research opportunities. Really an important piece of a College of Charleston experience. We also think that our world is more interconnected than ever. I think this is clear now. And when we look at how we embrace that cultural competency, global competency, studying abroad is a great way to do that. And we have the top study abroad program amongst other master's level institutions. That's by no mistake. We make it very accessible for our students, even transfer students, looking at ways you can fit it into your graduation plan. There are opportunities to make it happen. And there's also scholarship opportunities, specific scholarships for study abroad programs that can make it an economical experience. This is truly a life-changing experience. If you haven't already had the chance to study abroad, we certainly recommend it. And that's why so many of our students take advantage of it throughout their college career with us. So before we jump into the next steps of admission, I want to talk briefly about how students have fun and what they're doing on campus. Of course, off campus, there's no shortage of things to enjoy in Charleston with lots of different natural resources and parks and different things like that. But on campus, there's also never a dull moment. We've got over 250 clubs and organizations that you can choose from. This is such an inclusive community at the college that there is truly a place for everyone. Whether it's in an academic organization, a social organization that students have started. Transfer students also have a lot of specific resources for them, including that we're home to a chapter of Tau Sigma, which is an academic honor society specifically for transfer students. So we encourage you to get involved. There's lots of intentional ways that you can find your community, find your home base within the College of Charleston community, and we take that very seriously. So a great community of students, even though it's around 10,000, I think you'll get a sense if you ever get to be on campus that it feels a lot smaller than that because it is such a tight-knit community. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our athletic teams. We are an NCAA Division I school in the Colonial Athletic Association, so at the highest level of collegiate competition, and some great national standouts amongst those teams, including our basketball team, sailing team, equestrian team. Lots of great ways to cheer on your fellow classmates on the court or on the field, really embracing that school spirit, rounding out your college experience, having a lot of fun and cheering on the Cougars. So before Kaylin takes over and goes into some of the admissions information, it's also important to know what the power of a College of Charleston education is and what does that look like after graduation. Really looking at that through the eyes of our alumni and some of the remarkable things that they've gone on to do in their respective fields. So I want to give you a quick look at some of those folks. Not all almost 90,000 living alumni around the world will be pictured on this next video, but a few of them, and then Kaylin will take over and walk you through the admissions process.
Hi everyone, as Will mentioned earlier, my name is Kaylin Bachnight. I am the Transfer Admissions Counselor at the College of Charleston, and we are going to go ahead and dive into some admissions and applications requirements. So we have a couple different categories for transfer students. We have students with more than 24 earned hours and students with fewer than 24 earned credit hours. And that is not going to include dual enrollment. So a good way to think of that as after high school graduation, how many credits have you earned? We require a 2.6 for our South Carolina residents, and we're looking for a 3.0 for our out-of-state residents. A little bit of differential is with our students under 24 hours. We also want them to meet our freshman requirements, and we do require them to send their final official high school transcript as well as official test scores. We also encourage our transfer students to reach out to our transfer resource center. We understand there is no such thing as a typical college transfer. We have a ton of great resources in the transfer resource center, evaluating previous transcripts to see how your credits will transfer to the College of Charleston. So again, we encourage you to reach out to our Transfer Resource Center during any stage of your application process. When you're ready to apply to the College of Charleston, here's a couple things that you should know. You'll have to complete your online application, and that is available online. We do not accept the Common App. We'll need your previous college or university official transcripts. Again, as mentioned earlier, if you have under 24 hours, we will want you to also include your final official high school transcript and your official test scores. Those test scores will need to be sent from the testing center. We don't require ACT or SAT, whatever one that you take is fine. We are going to superset those scores. We do recommend that our students send all scores, again, because we will superset those. We don't require an essay as part of the application process, but we do want to give students the opportunity to write a personal statement. As your transfer admissions counselor, I will be reading all of those, so this is a great opportunity to add a personal touch to your application and maybe highlight anything that you feel the application didn't. Also, if you'd like to submit a resume or letter of recommendation, just be sure to include your full name, birth date, and College of Charleston ID number from your application. I know this is a lot to digest, so if you have any questions, feel free to go to cofc.edu/apply and you'll have more information there. At the College of Charleston, we understand that paying for college is a major finance. We are here to help you in any way possible. You may be eligible for one of several South Carolina state scholarships, departmental or specialty scholarships. We do not have merit-based scholarships for our transfer students, as you'll transfer in with a 0 GPA. Once you do receive a GPA, you will be able to apply for merit-based scholarships. There are also different forms of financial aid that come in the forms of loans, grants, and other benefits. And if you do have any questions about financial aid, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to our Office of Financial Aid. This next slide is just going to show some quick application deadlines. We're approaching our fall semester deadline, and that is June 1st. If you're looking to transfer for the next spring semester, December 1 is going to be the application deadline for that. There's a few more things that we're going to cover. Just make sure all portions of your application have been submitted. Once you've applied, it'll be easy to check the status of the application. You can check that on your application portal. It'll show you if you have material still missing, if your application is in review, and ultimately that will be the place where you will find your admissions decision. Decisions are generally made within 3 to 4 weeks. We have been getting those out a little bit quicker, so you can expect a quick turnaround when your application is complete and we do receive all those materials. If you are transferring to the College of Charleston, you can request on-campus housing. However, on-campus housing is not guaranteed. I would recommend filling out your application, and if accepted, you will want to complete your housing application before May 1st. Again, we don't require our students to live on campus, but as a transfer student, you are definitely welcome to do so. There are also a ton of great off-campus housing destinations in Charleston. And if you guys have any further questions or need further information, please feel free to reach out to myself. My information is online on the admissions website, and anything we can do to help make your decision a little bit easier. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks for joining us.